How's it going, everybody? Web with another trade recap. I'm about to go over a couple trades I took over the 3 days that I haven't been able to post. I took a trade 2 days ago, Monday. Um, I took a trade. Let's get to that. So I took a trade on Monday. I couldn't post because I was going to Big Bear. Um, yeah, I was going to Big Bear, and yeah, I mean, I just had to take a trade and get ready fast. You know what I mean? What's going on? What happened on Top Step? But let's go to 5 minute. Get there faster. We're getting there too fast. Down here. Okay. So this is the trade I took on Monday. Let me zoom in. I saw my confluence was more on the 5 minute, and I'm kind of liking the 5 minute chart more, as it just cuts out so much noise and just shows you exactly what the market is doing on a higher lower time frame, if that makes sense. So I'm really enjoying the 5 minute time frame, as this trade beautifully played out. But again, I made a mistake, like I always do. But I know going on this trade, we ended up hitting a reversal I forgot the reason what it was, but obviously we were inside these gaps, and we ended up reversing as we end up, displacing over these highs. We ended up catching a reversal, as you know, on the 5 minute chart. We had this last leg up. We had this inversion that we ended up having, and we ended up having a CISD, which will be my last confluence, manipulation, liquidity into a high time frame PD array, an inversion, and to finish it off a CISD. As I didn't enter right as this candle closure, so I waited for a retest. I had my limit order here, right here, and it tapped me back into the CISD. But as you guys can see here, we ended up re-tapping back into this gap, so it was more of a confluence. We're gonna go lower, and boom, we ended up going lower. I was kind of rushing because I had to go to, hit the road already, and I was kind of moving my stop. As at first, I didn't have it up here because there was no reason for me to have it up there, if that makes sense. All the confluences, if it wanted to come up higher, it would have happened here. So I ended up putting my stop above these candles, the body candles, and we ended up respecting coming lower. After we reached up this low, I went break even. Here after we ended up resweeping this low. And yeah, I was just watching price move, and as we respected this gap here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna move my profit. I'm gonna move my stop loss and some profits. So I move my profit out over here. Yeah. So I moved my profits right here. So basically I was up like 180, 200. And I knew there was no reason for us to come up higher, but I should have left my stop loss up there, because as you can see, wicks like these always happen. I didn't think it would happen to me that day, but it ended up happening to me. As this doji candle, move my stop loss above these candles just for a little bit of profit, to be in a little bit of green. But I should have just kept my stop loss up here. It was where my basic entry. Now I would have had full TP, but it's okay. So we ended up getting closed out of the position here, and just watched my profit get taken. It's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. I went snowboarding, forgot all about it. And then this trade the next day, so I did end up staying over there in Big Bear for the night at an Airbnb. It was nice, man. I had a lot of fun. And I was tired waking up on this AM session. We went to sleep pretty late out there. So I had droopy eyes going into this market. But yeah, going into this trade, I saw market open. I sat on my hands a little bit when it came to the market open until I saw, what I wanted to see. And again, like, has the 5 minute been showing me a lot of good things? I should have listened to it again, but as I saw my model on the 1 minute to 2 minute chart, like I'll show you guys here. I saw my model on the 1 to 2 minute, and I entered right off those confluences on the 1 minute, but I should have just went with the 5 minute as we were respecting these gaps down here. So yeah, we had this CISD as his last move up. This move up. Let's go on the 2 minute actually. And I took this trade on my phone. Never again. I'm taking my laptop everywhere. It's so hard to mark stuff out on your phone, bro. Like, wait, it was on the 1 minute. My bad. Here. So this is the trade I ended up taking at Big Bear. Oh my days. We had this last move up. We had this little swing low. Then we had this last move up. We ended up inversing these gaps. Inversing this gap. Closing below this last move up. So I put my entry right there. As now that I look at it, it's not really a good entry. It's not really clear as I wanted it to be. But I still ended up entering. And they see we ended up closing below. I was in the money for around like $300. But I did see on the 5 minute that we had these gaps that wanted to bounce back higher. And that's kind of has something to do with the trade I took today. So I'm going to start listening to the 5 minute. If I do a trade on the 1 to 2 minute, I'm going to take my profit knowing there's a high time frame period rate having us move higher. And it's not really bad because when I do end up taking these trades, I just sit on my hands. I just wait for it to play out, knowing that this confluence is gonna make me get stopped out. So moving forward, if I do see a high time frame period rate, causing us to go back higher while I'm in a short or something like that, I'm getting out and I'm taking the profits that I made. So just learning these lessons I'm about to show y'all in the trade I took today. But yeah, this was my confluence going into the trade. I should have waited, because this was a higher time frame that was causing us to come up higher, and I got stopped out. So now today, market open, straight pumped. How much points did we pump? 200 points in. That's crazy. In like 20 minutes. 20-minute 230 point pump. And my trade going into this, I just try to catch a reversal right away. But as you can see, market is so choppy. We had this last move up. I had this small inversion. And I just, joined right off that. As I was in the money. I still would have been in this trade, but it was just taking too long. And I started to move my stop loss. As once we got lower, tapped into this, 2-minute gap, I came back lower and lower a little bit. And, we tapped into this gap. I just kept shorting my stop loss. And we ended up getting stopped out. We still could have been in that trade, but I didn't really want to hold something like that. And I'm not mad about it. It's just choppy price action as I should have knew it was going to happen. But it is what it is. So I ended up catching a re-entry here. As I saw a little manipulation like to the upside and it ended up coming back pumping lower. We had this small inversion, the CISD. So I just joined. I hopped in right as that CISD happened, put my stops against that. But I just recognized that it was just choppy price action. So I took a L here for like around 130. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just, I don't want to trade this right now or today. So I'm gonna just take my profits. So I probably took like 150 point because I knew it was gonna come back a little lower. So I just took my profits here because I just wanted to end the day like nothing happened. Basically, I didn't want to trade this. I didn't want to waste my time on price action like this. So I just took a small percentage that was gonna make me, break even. Basically, I had a L already, so I just like, I'm already in this trade. I might as well take a little profit while I'm at it, just to like break even and not lose anything today. So that's what I did. Ended up getting stopped out for the break even day. So yeah, that's the trade recap I had going on. And yeah, hopefully I see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully price action's not as choppy as the week has been starting off. Pretty choppy, to be honest. It was on the 4 hour. We just pumped today, but the past 2 weeks just straight choppy, man. But it is what it is. Blessed to be here, blessed to take a trade, and I hope you guys have a blessed, amazing day. God bless everybody. Later.